In 2008, a British cycling team that had been failing for over a century made a simple change. They didn't hire new athletes or completely change their training program. Instead, they focused on tiny improvements like adjusting the bike seats, refining their sleeping habits, and even changing the type of massage gel they used. These small, almost unnoticeable changes led to astonishing results. Within 5 years, the team won 60% of the gold medals in the Olympics and dominated the Tour de France. This is the power of atomic habits, tiny, consistent actions that, over time, create massive success. Most people think they need big changes to achieve their goals, but in reality, it's the small things we do every day that shape our lives. James Clear's Atomic Habits isn't just another self-help book. It's a proven system that helps you break bad habits, build good ones, and unlock your full potential without relying on motivation or willpower. In this video, not only will you learn the powerful lessons from Atomic Habits, but you'll also improve your English naturally by listening to clear, engaging storytelling. Pay attention to how words are used, how sentences are formed, and how ideas are connected. By the end of this video, you won't just understand the book, you'll have improved your English skills along the way. Let's dive in. In this summary of Atomic Habits, we'll explore the key ideas that can help you build good habits, break bad ones, and transform your life through small but powerful changes. 1. The power of tiny changes. 2. How habits are formed, the habit loop. 3. The 4 laws of behavior change. 4. Identity and the role of self-image in habits. 5. Breaking bad habits, the inversion of the laws. 6. The power of environment and habit stacking. 7. The secret to long-term success, continuous improvement. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand how habits shape your life, but also gain practical strategies to master them and achieve lasting success. 1. The power of tiny changes. Imagine a plane taking off from Los Angeles to New York. If the pilot shifts the nose of the plane by just a few degrees, no one will notice. But over time, that small change in direction causes the plane to land in Washington, D.C. instead of New York. Tiny adjustments lead to massive changes in the long run. This is exactly how habits work. We often think change requires drastic action, but real transformation happens through small, consistent improvements. James Clear calls these atomic habits tiny behaviors that seem insignificant at first, but compound over time to create remarkable results. Most people chase big goals, believing they need major changes to succeed. But here's the truth. Success isn't the result of a single, life-changing decision. It comes from the accumulation of small actions repeated consistently. A 1% improvement every day may not seem like much, but in a year, you'll be 37 times better. If you decline by 1% daily, you'll end up close to 0. The difference between success and failure often lies in small, repeated choices. Many people focus on setting ambitious goals. I want to lose 20 kilograms. I want to write a book. I want to become fluent in Spanish. But setting goals alone doesn't lead to success. Goals give you direction, but the system you build determines progress. Everyone wants to win, but what separates top performers from others is their daily habits. If your goal is to run a marathon, you might train hard for months. But once the race is over, what's next? Without a system, the habit of running disappears. This is why goals are temporary, but systems are lasting. The key to change is not motivation, it's consistency. Rather than focusing on results, focus on your identity. Instead of saying, I want to quit smoking, say, I am not a smoker. Instead of saying, I want to exercise more, say, I am someone who never misses a workout. Your habits reinforce your identity. Every small action is a vote for the kind of person you want to become. If you want to develop a reading habit, start small. Read 1 page a day. If you want to exercise, do 1 push-up. If you want to write a book, start with 1 sentence. The 2-minute rule suggests that new habits should take less than 2 minutes to start. The goal is to make the habit so easy that you can't say no. Our environment plays a huge role in habit formation. People assume they need willpower to change, but in reality, their surroundings shape their behavior. If your phone is on your desk, you'll check it. If unhealthy snacks are in your kitchen, you'll eat them. Instead of relying on self-control, design your environment to make good habits easy and bad habits hard. If you want to read more, keep books visible. If you want to drink more water, keep a bottle near you. If you want to use your phone less, put it in another room. Small changes in your surroundings can lead to big changes in behavior. Habit tracking is a great way to stay consistent. Marking your progress, whether by checking off days on a calendar or using an app, reinforces positive behavior. A simple rule is never break the chain. If you miss a day, get back on track immediately. A single missed day won't ruin your progress, but skipping 2 days can break momentum. Tiny habits may seem insignificant at first, but their impact compounds over time. Success doesn't come from one huge leap, but from small, consistent actions repeated daily. When you focus on making tiny improvements, they eventually lead to extraordinary results. 2. How habits are formed, the habit loop. Have you ever found yourself scrolling through social media without even realizing it? Or reaching for a snack when you're not really hungry? These actions happen automatically because they are habits. But how do habits form, and why are they so hard to break? James Clear explains that every habit, whether good or bad, follows a simple pattern called the habit loop. This loop consists of 4 steps: cue, craving, response, and reward. Understanding this loop is the key to building good habits and breaking bad ones. It all starts with a cue, a trigger that tells your brain to initiate a behavior. It could be your phone buzzing, the smell of coffee in the morning, or even a certain time of day. Cues are everywhere, and they activate habits automatically. Next comes the craving, which is your brain's desire for a reward. The cue itself doesn't make you take action, but the expectation of pleasure does. Seeing a notification on your phone isn't exciting, but the anticipation of a message is. The smell of coffee isn't a reward, it's the energy boost you expect from drinking it. Then comes the response, the actual behavior. If the effort required is too high, you won't do it. That's why easy habits stick and difficult ones don't. The key to forming new habits is to make them as simple as possible. Finally, there's the reward, the benefit you get from the action. Rewards satisfy your craving and teach your brain to repeat the habit in the future. If something feels good, your brain marks it as worth remembering. This is why people keep checking social media. It provides instant rewards in the form of likes and comments. To build good habits, you must use the habit loop in your favor. Make cues obvious, cravings attractive, responses easy, and rewards satisfying. If you want to start running every morning, lay out your running shoes the night before. If you want to drink more water, keep a bottle next to you. The easier and more rewarding a habit is, the more likely it will stick. Breaking bad habits requires reversing the process. Make cues invisible. If you want to stop snacking, remove junk food from sight. Reduce cravings. Associate bad habits with negative feelings. Increase friction. If you want to check your phone less, keep it in another room. Make rewards unsatisfying. Have an accountability partner who reminds you of the consequences of skipping a good habit. Habits shape our lives more than we realize. By mastering the habit loop, you can take control of your behavior and design the life you want, one small habit at a time. 3. The 4 laws of behavior change. Have you ever struggled to start a good habit or break a bad one? Maybe you've tried to wake up early, exercise regularly, or stop procrastinating, only to find yourself slipping back into old patterns. The problem isn't you, it's your system. James Clear explains that success isn't about willpower or motivation. It's about designing your environment in a way that makes good habits easy and bad habits difficult. To help us do this, he introduces the 4 laws of behavior change, a simple framework for creating good habits and eliminating bad ones. These laws follow the same pattern as the habit loop: cue, craving, response, and reward. If you want to build a new habit, follow these 4 rules. If you want to break a bad habit, do the opposite. The first law is to make it obvious. Our brains are constantly processing information, but we only act on what stands out. If you want to develop a habit of reading, place a book where you can see it. If you want to exercise, keep your workout clothes ready. On the other hand, if you want to stop watching TV, hide the remote or unplug the television. Making cues visible or invisible determines how likely you are to act on them. The second law is to make it attractive. We repeat behaviors that feel rewarding. That's why social media is so addictive. It gives us instant gratification. If a habit feels difficult or boring, you won't stick with it. To make good habits attractive, pair them with something you already enjoy. Listen to your favorite music while exercising, or drink a cup of tea while reading. If you want to break a bad habit, make it unattractive. Remind yourself of its negative consequences. The third law is to make it easy. Many people fail at habits because they try to do too much at once. They set big goals like running 5 kilometers a day or studying for hours, but these require too much effort. Instead, start small. Just put on your running shoes or study for 2 minutes. This is called the 2-minute rule. Make the habit so easy that you can't say no. Once a habit is effortless, it becomes automatic. To break bad habits, do the opposite. Make them difficult. Use apps that block distractions or keep your phone in another room while working. The fourth law is to make it satisfying. We stick to habits that give us a sense of progress. That's why people love checking things off a to-do list. It feels rewarding. Use habit trackers to see your progress and give yourself a small reward for completing a habit. If you want to break a bad habit, make it unsatisfying. Have an accountability partner who checks in on you, or set consequences for failing. The more painful a bad habit is, the easier it becomes to stop. By following these 4 laws, make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying, you can create lasting change. Small changes may not seem important at first, but over time, they compound into remarkable results. 4. Identity and the role of self-image in habits. Every action you take is a vote for the kind of person you wish to become. The key to lasting habit change isn't focusing on goals, but on identity. Most people try to build habits by saying, I want to lose weight, or I want to be more productive. But real change happens when you shift your mindset to, I am a healthy person, or I am a productive person. James Clear explains that habits are not just about what you do, but who you believe you are. If you want to build strong habits, you must first redefine your self-image. Instead of thinking, I have to force myself to write every day, tell yourself, I am a writer. Instead of struggling to go to the gym, think, I am an athlete. When your habits are tied to your identity, they become automatic. Think of someone who runs every morning. They don't debate whether to run or not, it's just who they are. Compare that to someone who is trying to be a runner but still sees themselves as a lazy person. They have to push themselves every day because their identity does not match their habit. When you truly believe you are the kind of person who exercises, eats healthy, or works hard, the actions that support that identity become natural. So, how do you shift your identity? Start by making small identity-based changes. Instead of setting big, overwhelming goals, take small steps that reinforce the kind of person you want to be. If you want to be a reader, read 1 page a day. If you want to be a musician, practice for just 2 minutes. Each small action reinforces your new identity. Your environment also plays a crucial role in shaping your identity. If you surround yourself with people who embody the habits you want, you're more likely to adopt those habits. If you spend time with fit and active people, you'll naturally become more active. If you surround yourself with successful and disciplined people, their mindset will influence you. Breaking bad habits also starts with identity change. Instead of saying, "I'm trying to quit smoking," say, "I'm not a smoker." Instead of saying, "I'm trying to be more productive," say, "I'm a focused and disciplined person." When your identity and actions align, change becomes effortless. In the end, habits are a reflection of your beliefs about yourself. If you want to create long-term change, don't just focus on what you want to achieve. Focus on who you want to become. 5. Breaking bad habits, the inversion of the laws. If good habits make success inevitable, bad habits make failure unavoidable. Just as the 4 laws of behavior change help us build positive habits, their inversion helps us break bad ones. To stop destructive behaviors, we must make them invisible, unattractive, difficult, and unsatisfying. First, make bad habits invisible. Our environment shapes our habits more than we realize. If you want to stop eating junk food, don't keep it in your house. If you want to stop wasting time on social media, remove the apps from your phone. Willpower is weak compared to environment design, so eliminate triggers that lead to bad habits. Second, make them unattractive. Every bad habit is driven by a craving. If you want to stop a habit, reframe the way you see it. Instead of thinking, "Smoking helps me relax," tell yourself, "Smoking ruins my health and drains my energy." Instead of saying, "Skipping workouts saves time," remind yourself, "Not exercising makes me feel weak and sluggish." When you associate bad habits with negative emotions, their appeal disappears. Third, make bad habits difficult. Increase the friction between you and the behavior you want to stop. If you want to watch less TV, unplug it after every use. If you want to check your phone less, keep it in another room. The harder a habit is to do, the less likely you are to repeat it. Finally, make bad habits unsatisfying. Bad habits persist because they provide immediate rewards, even if they harm us in the long run. To break them, add an immediate consequence. Tell a friend about your goal and ask them to hold you accountable. Set up a habit contract where you lose money if you fail. When quitting a bad habit feels painful, you'll be more motivated to stop. Bad habits are not a reflection of who you are. They are a product of your environment and repeated behaviors. By inverting the 4 laws, you can weaken their grip and replace them with better alternatives. Change your surroundings, shift your perspective, and make bad habits too difficult to sustain. Over time, your old habits will fade, making room for new, positive behaviors that shape your best self. 6. The power of environment and habit stacking. Our habits are not just a reflection of our willpower, they are shaped by our surroundings. The environment we live in, the people we interact with, and the cues around us silently guide our behaviors. If you want to make lasting changes, you must design your environment in a way that supports good habits and discourages bad ones. One of the most powerful ways to build new habits is habit stacking. Instead of relying on motivation or discipline, you link a new habit to something you already do regularly. This technique works because your brain is already wired to follow a routine, and by attaching a new habit to an existing one, you make it easier to remember and follow through. For example, if you want to start reading more, stack it with a habit you already do. After I drink my morning coffee, I will read 1 page of a book. After I brush my teeth at night, I will review my goals for the next day. Habit stacking works best when the new habit fits naturally with the existing one. The stronger the connection, the easier it is to maintain. Beyond habit stacking, environment design is another game changer. Your surroundings act as silent triggers for your habits. If you want to eat healthier, keep fresh fruits visible on your kitchen counter. If you want to exercise more, place your workout clothes where you can see them. Conversely, to break bad habits, increase friction. If you want to reduce screen time, keep your phone in another room while working. If you want to cut down on junk food, store it in a hard-to-reach place. Small environmental tweaks can make good habits effortless and bad habits inconvenient. We often assume habits are about self-control, but in reality, they are about structure. The easier a habit is to follow, the more likely it is to stick. By carefully designing your environment and using habit stacking, you can create a system where positive behaviors become second nature, effortless, automatic, and built for success. 7. The secret to long-term success: continuous improvement. Success is not about making massive changes overnight. It's about making small improvements consistently over time. This idea, known as the 1% rule, is the foundation of long-term success. If you improve by just 1% every day, those tiny gains will compound into remarkable results over months and years. The problem most people face is that they seek instant results. They go to the gym for a week and expect to see dramatic changes. They start a new habit and quickly get discouraged when there are no visible improvements. But real progress happens below the surface, much like an ice cube melting. For a long time, nothing seems to be happening, but then, suddenly, everything changes. This is why consistency beats intensity. Instead of setting unrealistic goals, focus on showing up every day. Rather than trying to read 50 pages in one sitting, read just 2 pages daily. Instead of doing an intense 2-hour workout, start with 10 minutes. Over time, these small efforts accumulate, and what once seemed impossible becomes effortless. Another key to long-term success is tracking your progress. When you measure your improvements, no matter how small, you stay motivated. Even if results are slow, seeing progress, whether in the form of habits completed, weights lifted, or pages read, gives you a sense of achievement and keeps you moving forward. However, long-term success is not just about building good habits. It's also about adapting and evolving. Life changes, goals shift, and what worked for you yesterday may not work tomorrow. The key is to stay flexible and continuously improve your system. When something stops working, tweak it. If you hit a plateau, experiment with a new approach. At its core, continuous improvement is a mindset. It's the belief that you don't need to be perfect today. You just need to be better than yesterday. By focusing on small, daily improvements, tracking your progress, and adapting when needed, you create a system where success is inevitable. Habits shape our lives in ways we don't even realize. Every small action, repeated consistently, builds up into something powerful, either working for us or against us. The secret to success isn't about making massive changes overnight. It's about committing to tiny improvements every day, trusting the process, and allowing time to do its magic. Most people give up because they don't see results fast enough. But real transformation happens beneath the surface, where consistency quietly compounds into remarkable progress. If you want to change your life, don't rely on motivation. It's unreliable. Instead, build a system, create an environment that supports your habits, and focus on showing up every single day. The choice is yours. Continue letting your habits control you, or take control and design the life you want. The smallest habits, when repeated over time, lead to the biggest results. And the best part, you don't have to be perfect, you just have to be better than yesterday.